What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. Bye, singing dog. Bye, goal.
I pronounce you.
Bye, wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Blog Talk Radio.
Well, good afternoon, kids. For a moment there, I thought it was Tuesday. Don't quote me on that one because clearly it's not. Number 2, it's a real pain in the butt. Just few people know this. I had this wonderful experience happen last night. I want to say this real quickly before we get Kim on the line. This is what you call working on a shoestring budget. Most of you people don't realize that those of us that are authors or creatives or radio show hosts, we're not rich. I know that that's a shock to you, so get this. So I get home last night. Not only have I managed to lose two of my phone chargers, by the way, but I'm looking through my junk drawer, and I happen to find this little red cord, and literally is charging on and off and on and off. So thank you, Jesus. I have 80% on my phone to do this interview today. This is what you talk about, improvise, okay? I'm so excited to be having today's guest. I have to tell you this. 2 quick things. First of all, I want to remind everybody that tomorrow we are having on the one and the only Sergioni. So excited for this interview, almost as much as Kim's. Actress who has a crowdfunding campaign that we're going to be talking about. Her name is pronounced actually Sergon Odassi is her name. She is a self-proclaimed vampire, for one. Second of all, she's worked with some of my favorite directors in New York City. And third of all, she's promoting a new project, which is actually a sci-fi series. So I'm so excited that she's able to squeeze me in and get going on this campaign. Friday, we have a surprise guest. I'm not saying who, but you'll recognize her from an 80s television show starring somebody like Keenan Ivory Wayans, I'm guessing. So you do the math on that. So without further ado, I'm not going to keep Kim holding. Let's get her on the line and start chit-chatting away. Kim?
Hello.
Hi. Have you been listening to me babble for 2 minutes?
Yes, I did.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm telling you the life story, my saga. I like to be honest with my viewers because that's the reality of it. I can't believe I lost 2 phone chargers, and I'm thinking, I have to be on the radio for however long, and I hope my phone doesn't die. But it'll be fine. It'll be perfectly fine. I'm kind of ghetto connected up here, and I'm so excited and so intimidated to have you on the show. So welcome. I'm very nervous, just so you know.
Well, thank
Extremely
you.
nervous.
You should be intimidated.
You're a big deal. No, you're a big deal. Have you looked at you? I mean, really, have you looked at you?
Yeah,
you're a big deal.
No, I'm just like you said. We struggle. Our starving artists
right.
here. Yeah, I'm just like everybody
Welcome.
else.
Thank you very much. Except some of us haven't been on Cake Wars. I'm not on the Food Network.
Well, yeah.
Nobody's taken my picture. I'm not standing next to really cute guys. Yes, I creeped on your wall. The way we do my show is we jump around an awful lot, and I ask a bunch of different questions. So I don't ever like to have my show be very boring. So we like, I could ask you, where did you come from? Where did you get your education? But everybody's already heard that. So I'm going to hopefully ask you things that are a little different. I'm going to jump around between personal and professional life, if you don't mind. And it should make it interesting for everybody. Definitely. First of all, I love this, absolutely love this statement. You were quoted as saying once, I will always be outside of the box. And I'm very much that way myself. And so I want to talk about that a little bit. A lot of the people that listen to my show are either trying to formulate what they want to do with their lives, or they're very creative one way or the other. And they don't realize the potential or the promise that comes with thinking outside or acting outside of the box. So talk to us a little bit about what that means in your realm. How far outside of the box do you go to create?
Oh, I'm so far out of the box. I walk through the grocery store, and instead of shopping for food, I'm looking at everything, like the candy aisle. Oh, what can I make out of this? The pasta aisle, whatever. I see everything in a form of art, and I don't like to, in a sense, follow the rules. I like to do it my own way, make it a little bit different. I don't copy or repeat things. I like to keep it fresh and new all the time.
Nice, very nice. And do you find that you get yourself, are there particular places or people that provide you with inspiration? Some of us have the same staple ones, and some of us are different. So I'm just curious, are you inspired by any one or any particular thing repeatedly, again and again, or consistently?
Nature. I'm inspired by nature a lot, and Native American. I just found out that I'm part Native American. I always kind of knew deep down, but I just love their theory on life. Like you give back what you take, and the beauty, and the spirit animals, and how stones and the sun and everything have a meaning to them, and it's important to me because I think everything has some sense of meaning.
Very, very nice. I like that attitude too. And that goes right along with being an artist. To those of you that are listening in that have no creative ability, most of the people I interview, including yourself, have this creative vibe that comes along with them where they not only think outside of the box, but they can turn one little can. I bet you could take an aluminum can and turn it into a piece of art, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. See what I'm talking about?
Pre-K. Yeah, I used to teach pre-K kids, and I used to be like the garbage lady, the collector. I have a shopping cart full of garbage, and I would turn each of those projects into things. And my rule was it had to be something that the parents would keep, not throw in the drawer. So I would come up with these cool projects, and some of them still rate me to this day and tell me they went into art because of the class I taught them way back when, that they went to college for art now. And so it's really cool.
That is very, very cool, actually. It sure is. Now, of the various occupations you have, and you have like 27 of them, and I think you topped me, actually, because I thought I was busy. But my God, every time I turn around, she's getting on a plane, going someplace, at some kind of show. It's insane. I don't know how she does it. But I want to start off with something a little more simplistic, which is I have always wanted to try what you do, which is you offer paint nights where individuals come in and then they can have some wine and they can learn how to paint a portrait, etc. So talk to me a bit about the painting angle. First of all, I want to know how long you yourself have been painting, and were you also self-taught in that regard? And then second of all, to those of us who want to paint, and I'm going to tell you, I'm a village idiot. I don't even think you could teach me, even if I was there, because I just don't get it. Does everyone have that ability inside of them to be able to create something on an easel like that? Because I'm not buying it. I'm like, no, there's no way I can do it. I don't think I can.
No, you can. It's all about seeing different. Art has nothing to do with like your ability with your hand or physical. It's all about opening your eyes and looking at things a little different. And when I teach, I don't give them one subject. I let them come in. I can teach 30 different people 30 different things on one of those nights. And it could be from painting wine glasses, doing wood, and doing a canvas. I just bop around to each person. And I learned, because I had some learning disabilities. I'm slightly dyslexic. And I learned that you don't learn the same way. Everyone learns different. So I kind of figure out how you're going to get it. So each person gets individual attention from me. And I figure out what's working for you and what way I can get you to understand how to do it. And not everybody tells me, I can't draw a straight line, I can't do this. Every single person who has said that to me, I told them, I guarantee, challenge accepted, you're going to walk away really, really happy, and they have. Every single person.
How cool is that? Now, were you self-taught in this realm, or did you actually take classes to learn how to be able to paint? Okay, gotcha.
Nope, just high school. Yeah, I was doing this from the time I think I came out of the womb. I was always playing with something and doing some sense of art. I even when you're outside in the stones, you'd be playing with the stones or something, outside in, the grass, making something out of the grass. I always was doing something artistic. Everything's a canvas really cool for me, everything.
I totally get what you're talking about, because there's something that can be said about, I could write about just about anything, so I know exactly where you're coming from. And what's impressive is that you really haven't had a lot of formal training or no formal training for some of this stuff. So it's even more impressive that you're able to accomplish something like that without actual guidance, meaning without the formalized education, that sort of stuff. Does anyone ever come to you and have they asked you to teach them something that you just weren't capable of? I guess I was curious about that, because you do just about everything.
Well, if they asked me to teach them how to write, I would be gone, or math.
Oh, no, you could write.
Driving is bad.
Really?
Well, I'm not a bad driver. I'm just directionally challenged, I guess. And I just I don't know where I'm going.
No, I understand.
So, but and artistic, no, I wing it half the time. Literally, I was actually performing in SeaWorld and Busch Gardens, and one summer, after it would be my 6th week, I was handed a day and a half saying, okay, you're going to do toast. Somebody else is supposed to do it. And I had no clue what to do. I literally put it together and winged it, and it ended up being one of the best pieces. I had no clue what I was doing. I took a trowel and a heat gun and just toasted the toast, and it came out great in front of 1,000 spectators.
Oh, wow. See, no, I find it
Winning
interesting.
Is the best way.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, because there are some people that, and this is an interesting question that I ask often to actors and producers and directors, so I'll ask you on more the artistic side of things. There are some that have had, have gone to Harvard or Princeton, et cetera, and have had education to the nines. And then there are individuals like yourself that don't come from that background. If you had to do it over again, especially to those that are listening in, would you have gone the same route, or do you think you probably might have gone the educational way just so as to be more finely tuned, as they put it? Because some of the people that come from a lot of education swear by it, and they're like, it's the best way to go. So I'm just curious your take on that.
Well, it's like a double-edged sword on that one. I wouldn't go for their education because I like my free spirit method. But I've been stopped because I don't have that piece of paper. I've been held back because I didn't go that route, and I don't have a piece of paper to hand and prove that I'm an artist. My work itself and my years of doing it doesn't measure up for some people, and that part hurts. So I would just go just to get the piece of paper so that I can, get through a few doors. Because I was just recently, I subbed teaching at BOCES School. I don't know if you ever heard. It's like for
no.
What do you call it? Like an education for kids who are challenged a little bit. And I had a great rapport, and we did so well. But because I didn't have the piece of paper, I couldn't stay. And the kids miss me and want me back, but I can't stay there because I don't have that piece of paper.
I know what you're talking about. I've been there, done that. As a matter of fact, I've taught, broadcasting, and I've taught writing, et cetera, and I never finished. I had children, so I just didn't want to finish college. And I've been stopped quite a number of times myself, so I totally get where you're coming from. So if you people are listening in, us creatives who are self-taught, we're the bomb, just so you know, so stop telling us no. Going to throw that one out there because it makes me very angry. I see that a lot, and I think sometimes it can be harmful to not just children. There are adults out there that could use some guidance and creativity and want to try different things, and I don't think it's fair. It's just, I guess it's the world we live in, so what are you going to do? You're rocking on quite a bit, because let me tell you folks, if you go onto her website, oh my God, we'll talk about my favorites in a moment. That's all I'm going to say as far as that goes. Okay, switching gears just a little bit. I was interested to find out, and I'm just going to try to clarify this because we do this on the show. So last I checked, Kim, I don't know where that came from. Lisa, that's my tomorrow show. Single. I saw the status that said single. Is that true?
Yes, I am.
You're joking. You're lying. You're completely lying.
No,
I don't believe that for 1 second. You're gorgeous.
I have offers. I have lots of offers. Lots and lots of offers. I was married, and some of my relationships didn't work out so well, so I'm very, very picky right now. And my career is really important, and I don't want to put up with the junk anymore. I joke, I have this thing. It's funny. I actually have a term. It's like a food term, but I'm tired of meeting guys, and they give me that cookie. And what the cookie is, they tell me everything I want and do everything I want when we first start dating. And then as soon as they get you, they take the cookie away. And that's what I'm used to. And I'm the kind of person, when you meet me, that's who you're getting. You're getting me. Okay. I'm not fake, phony, whatever. It's exactly who I am. I'm not going to change. Whatever I'm doing now, I'll be doing 20 years from now if I can. But a lot of people like to impress you, and I don't want to be impressed. I don't want to be impressed. I want to know who you are, because I don't want you to change later, because if I don't like who you are now, it's never going to work no matter what. So.
Oh, no, I agree with you. And plus, you don't look like the kind of woman that you're just going to be like the first guy that comes in will sweep you off your feet. You almost look like you'd keep somebody on their toes. And the only reason I ask this is because people often look at the people that are coming on my show. So when I get comments like, oh, is she single? I have to ask. And I just happen to have a radio show, so I'm like, hey, let's find out if she's single for certain fellows out there. So there you go, folks. You have to be on your toes, and she's way too busy right now. So relationship material, you have to be something to get her attention, apparently, which there's nothing wrong with at all whatsoever. So thank you for that.
With me too.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
they have to be able to keep up
with page. Me. Exactly.
Yeah, they have to be able to hike a mountain and all this other stuff. You have to be able to keep up with me.
Wow. And making a cake wouldn't hurt, meaning basically if they knew how to make a pretty cool cake, I would suppose that would probably be some great credentials right there.
Actually, no, I'd rather someone who could sing.
Really?
Yeah, because the cake is like my thing. I don't even want to work with anyone. I like doing it. It's my own thing. I love listening to someone who's good, has a good voice. Absolutely love that.
Well, we're getting somewhere now, folks. The only thing is, though, that you're in upstate New York versus being in, like, New York City, Manhattan, and all that stuff, because I have tons of guys that live there, and they would jump all over the opportunity. But you're so far away. So when you say upstate New York,
really.
How far are you from the city? I was going to ask you about that.
It's like an hour and a half-ish.
Oh, that's not bad.
I live right in the hub where the Woodstock, the original Woodstock Festival. I live right there.
Yep.
Pretty much
nice.
Where they have all the concerts in the summer, everything. Yeah.
Very nice. And one of the things that I thought was so impressive when I first found out that I was interviewing you was that all these beautiful pieces are not in like a formalized store per se. So you don't have an actual location where people can come in, take a look at your things, go ahead and purchase them, etc. So you don't have a formalized store. So I'm curious to ask you if that's something that's in the works, because I can't imagine people wouldn't just sell you out literally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, part of it is I kind of don't want to be married to a spot right at the moment, because I get like last minute calls and I'm on the road or you're traveling. So having a permanent spot means you have to permanently be there or make sure it's taken care of. And I kind of like the appointment only. Like, give me a call, tell me what you want, and I'll set it up, make it, happen for you. But a spot would mean I'd have to have cupcakes and all that stuff and the stove and the help, and I'm not sure I really want to go that route. I kind of still have that that would be putting me in my box. I like that free spirit.
And we can't put her in a box. Don't do it.
No, I'm not boxable.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Well, now it makes more sense, and I understand that, because I'm thinking to myself, God, she has such beautiful creations. I know myself and plenty of others that I know would walk in and be like, oh, my God, I have to have this or have to have this. So from the business side of things, I was thinking, oh, my God, that would be so amazing. Now, I have to ask you, I'm very curious, because you look like you've made just about everything. So has someone ever come to you and had a special order and said, okay, this is what I want, and you're like, you know what, I just can't do it? Not that I could picture this, but maybe there has been. Has there been a moment where you're like, I just can't make this cake, or I can't make this creation?
Well, I already said that I'm not going to do any of the, like body part ones, because I have a reputation. So I've had people ask, I'm like, yeah, I'm not really sure I want to go there. It's not that I can't make it. I really just don't want to do that. And then I'll tell them I won't copy a cake. A lot of people will send me a cake that some other cake artist had made and said, can you do this? And I'm like, I can, but I won't. So I've lost business because I refuse to copy somebody's cake.
Which makes sense, though. I mean, I give you a lot of credit for that, actually, because there's a bunch of people out there that would do something like that. So that's absolutely awesome. And I've also seen, though, that you've done some kind of gruesome things. First of all, I don't think I've ever seen a zombie cake before, so I was kind of impressed to see something like that. It freaked me out, but it was awesome. I was like, this is an amazing-looking cake. I was hugely impressed, folks, and to those that you haven't known me long enough, but I have to tell you, I mean, just looking at Marilyn Monroe, anything gives me the goosebumps. And I almost didn't find it, but yes, she has done a Marilyn Monroe cake, because I was looking around for my own personal favorites. I'm like, okay, well, if I was in here, what would I order, and what would my favorite thing be? And I was like, oh, my God, this is awesome. She did the zombie thing. She did the Marilyn Monroe. She did a wine cake. I was in heaven.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, my God, I love this woman. She did a wine cake. That's amazing. And New York City, I saw you did the New York City one.
Too.
Oh, my God. Now you got to give it up. How could you possibly manage that? How does that happen?
Well, instead of water, I use wine.
And you can do that? Like, seriously?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You have to like play with it. But yeah, it was wine flavored, or red wine, like red velvet wine flavored cake. It was really good.
Oh my God.
Well,
it
was really good, but I don't know that. Everyone told me that, because the joke is, and I don't think you know this, is that I can't eat cake or cookies or any of that. I'm allergic. I'm a cake artist. I cannot eat it. Oh, I can't. I'm gluten. I cannot eat it.
Oh, no, you poor thing. That's got to be, now, isn't that a little tough? Like, don't you ever get tempted? Like, oh, my God, I so have to have this or try this. That has to drive you insane.
Now, well, I'm so used to it, because the pain of what happens is a lot worse. But in some ways, I look at it as a benefit, too, because because I love my sweets, I'd probably eat too much, and then I would be bigger than I am. So that's probably better. I'm not able to eat
Listen to her. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
bigger than I am. Yeah, right. Again, look at her, folks, and then you try telling me how she looks. Thank you. I've seen your pictures, so you can't bluff. Thanks. But no, so those are some of my favorites, and obviously later on I'll tell everybody where to find a website where you can look at all these different cakes that she's done. And I'm a huge turtle fan, so the fact that you did a sea turtle thing, I was like over the top. Oh my God,
I've had
turtles.
Favorite.
Right. Thank you.
I wear a turtle necklace all the time. If you look
Serious?
in most of my photos, I have a turtle necklace that I have on. I have turtle everything in my house. Turtles are really important to me. Really important to me. The one cake with the turtle
awesome.
and all the animals on it. I don't know if you know the one. It's like piled up. It's a spirit animal cake. That is actually my cake. It tells my story.
Oh, I love it. See, and for me, turtles are like awesome. You know, like I'm surrounded by people that are dog people, and I'm sorry, I'm not a dog person, and I don't have time for a dog anyway. So I'm like, okay, you know what? That's probably not going to work for me. But turtles, they're so cute. They're so little, and I'm like, oh my God, I have a fixation with them. So I was like totally excited when you did this. I'm like, oh, look at this cake. It's awesome. But like I said, folks, I'll tell you where you can look at all this different stuff, and you'll be amazed at all the various different ones. I just highlighted on, like 5 of about 1,000 of them. So I'm like, it's absolutely awesome. Now, we want to talk about this was really cool. I got all excited about this. And I'm always excited when a guest comes on and my kids say, ask this for me. So there's a couple things that'll come up. This is one of them. So one of the things that I see that you do is you actually design on Converse kicks, because I've had that done myself from some, and I have a pair upstairs actually that look awesome, and they've got all sorts of different things on them, and I'm like, oh my God, those are so cool. So talk to us a little bit about that in case somebody's listening in, they're sitting at home and they're like, oh my God, I totally want to have a pair of designer Converse. It's awesome. Tell us a little bit about when you started doing that, and approximately how long, let's say, does it take you to, from start to finish, to do, let's say, the shoe design versus something like a painting, or just give us a comparison a little bit so we get some kind of an idea on the extent of time it takes to do that.
Oh, okay. I actually just started doing Converse, I think maybe a year and a half ago.
Nice.
I love those shoes. They're my favorite. And like I said, everything's a blank canvas. Had a pair of white ones, and it's like, they're white. So I started playing with them and then loved it and just started doing for myself and then took orders. They go fast depending on the size of the person's foot, because, you have bigger shoes, smaller feet. So mine go really quick.
Sure.
I have small feet. It depends on the design. I mean, certain designs will take longer, and that's the same with paintings. There's certain paintings that I can do relatively quickly, and then there's other ones that take me months and months to get it to be done, because I'm kind of very detail-oriented, and I'm anal, so everything has to be perfect, always. Always.
And I'm anal.
I'm
That's
so
cute.
I'm so bad.
But no, honestly, would you be honest enough to say that having that quality, though, is an exceptionally good thing when it comes to what you do for a living? I mean, don't you think that's a benefit?
I like it. I mean, I just joke because some people, they get mad, but I've had it where people, I've quote down a price for a cake, and they get another 10 hours into it. I can't let it go unless it's perfect. It's really hard for me. Like those shows are really hard, because we're talking putting my talent in like a couple hours, you're throwing this stuff together, and I'm looking at it going, oh, this looks like shit. Because normally I would take like 6-7 hours just on one little piece of that. So I'm like, don't get too close. This is horrible.
Wow. Okay. So am I to venture to guess that you would say overall that the Converse definitely take less than the cakes do?
Yes. Oh, by far.
Time-wise?
Cakes are anywhere between a week to 2 months. I have 300 hours in one cake. The Amazon cake had like almost 300 hours in it.
Oh my God. How do you do? Okay, so now you're going to have to explain this, because I'm picturing this, because I know what it's like to work, a 12-hour day or whatever have you, and I'm thinking to myself, how is this woman doing this? Like literally, because when you're talking about that many, I mean, how are you doing this? You know what I mean? I mean, does it sound like a lot to you?
I'm like the Energizer Bunny, I guess. I wake up early and I'll work all day, literally like 7 in the morning, and it's like 1 or 2 5-minute break type of things. I'll just continue working till 1, 2 at night if I have to. I never get a day off. I keep joking, like, I don't know what it would be like to go on vacation. It would be kind of fun to go somewhere and not think about work, but I'm always doing something, always doing something.
And we like that, right? Meaning you're happy with that? Or
oh, yeah.
you...
I chose to do this way. I gave up everything just to do what I love. I've watched a bunch of people like my father and my aunt and a few other people, in my life who worked their whole life to make a lot of money or to support their kids, and they just worked and never had fun and they didn't even like their job. And then they would retire, and then they get sick, and then they die, and they never enjoyed all that money that they made and never had fun in their life, in a sense, maybe here and there. I said, I have one life. I am going to work and do what I love. And I probably work harder than most people, but I love it. That at least when I get sick and older or die, I can say I did what I wanted to do with my one life.
Nice. I love that attitude. You have such a great attitude. That's awesome. Because sometimes I don't think people realize that when you're in the crux of it and you're doing something that you have a huge passion for and you take great pride in, for me at least, I'm sure the hours don't add up necessarily. I just sometimes don't notice how long I'm taking or how I'm doing it or whatever have you. So I totally get what you're saying as far as that goes. I wanted to ask you this because you were just speaking about your family, of course. Is there a creative line somewhere along those lines where somebody does, do you have painters in the family? Do you have writers in the family, et cetera? Was there any kind of genetic creativity there from the start?
Yeah, I had a great uncle. Or something like that, but he's pretty far back there.
Okay.
Back. He was a painter. My mother tells stories about he used to paint. And then my mother, she was going to go to school to be a fashion designer. She's really talented and creative too. She actually does woodwork. She goes downtown and takes photos of the buildings and recreates them as miniature wood pieces. The rest of my siblings, they all have the ability to do stuff, but none of them, and including my mom, none of them have the passion to do it like I do. It's like they can do it, but they don't. It doesn't give them the pleasure that I get for it.
Sure. Makes sense. I understand. Yeah, because oftentimes I find that usually when I interview somebody, they've come from a long line of singers or this or this or this, so it's kind of neat to just kind of look back at that. Speaking of family, you coined this term, which I wanted to ask about. So she makes a Facebook post just referring to sugar sisters. And I'm like, okay, I could assume what a sugar sister is, but I'm like, how cool is that? I've never heard anybody say, I'm going to see my sugar sisters. So would you like to explain what a sugar sister is? I'm curious.
It's a cake. It's the cake or in the cake world. It's like when you're close to someone in the cake world that we just call, sugar. It's kind of like, your sugar sisters because we all work with sugar. Because the cake world is really funny, and especially if you've been on those shows, there's a lot that we can't talk about. But amongst ourselves, we can. Yeah, you sign your life away, your firstborn, and everything. So when you're with your friends, you could talk about things that you can't tell anyone else, and it's just a really close relationship. We're like family, very, very close, and you it's like a family reunion. Like when you go to these cake shows, we just can't wait to see each other. It's like, oh my God, she's coming or he's coming. It's just so much fun.
That's awesome. And I have heard that before, actually, so I suppose I should ask that question. I've interviewed other individuals, like from the Bravo channel, A&E, et cetera, and things like that, and they talk a lot about their experience being on television. Obviously, they enjoy it, but like you were talking about, the things that you have to sign away, the things you can't talk about, it can be restricting. Sometimes there's a lot of editing involved. If you had to go back and do it again, were you prepared for this? Meaning, when you walked into this, were you aware of all the other parameters that came with it, and would you still stand by the decision to do network television?
Oh yeah, I mean, the very first time I did that, it was like 3 years ago. My very first show. It was called Sugar Dome, and it was the basis of what Cake Wars is now. It was like before Cake Wars was Cake Wars. It was like their pilot style. That didn't work out. I was not prepared for that by any means at all. I mean, I literally cried too when they interviewed me. It was bad. It was horrible.
Oh my gosh.
But after that, I realized what happened. I'm a quick study and I watch and see everything. And I learned what it was about and how it worked and I love the competition. Once you slap that mic on and then you tell me, okay, here you go, I love it. I feed off the energy. I absolutely love it. I could go back. I left Cake Wars Christmas, and I got home, and I was like half dead. We were gone. We were on for five episodes, so we were gone for like almost a couple weeks. I would have went back. If they would have said come back, I would have went right back and did more.
Really? See, I like to hear that, because not everybody experiences, been the same, and it's different. Networks are different and such. So kudos to you on that one. Now, I noticed that, your partner that you refer to, meaning Michelle Boyd, now, is that your partner in business or partner on television? I just want to clarify that, because I know you've referenced her before. So
actually, that disappeared.
Oh.
Yeah, just say that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm waiting for her to come retrieve the machete out of my bag. But yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not know. I'm sorry.
No,
we'll just move right along then.
No, it's okay. Yeah. No,
I'm really feeling like I just stabbed.
No, it's
God,
okay. It's
I'm
very
sorry.
competitive. The world is very competitive, and
I know.
I don't really like to play games, and I just kind of walk away from it. So,
Sure.
I hope she's doing well, but I just can't be around people that you're not sure when it's going to come or how they're going to take you down and stuff like that. So
I understand. I totally get it. So I appreciate that, your honesty. Thank you very much. Now,
sure.
let's switch gears to something a little funnier, because you know what? I got to go back to the Converse thing, because if I don't, my little 10-year-old is going to kick my butt, because literally he was like, you need to ask her about this. So there's like specific requirements. If I don't get my kids' questions answered, my ass will get beat. Did I just say that? Yes, I did. Oh, wait, you said ask first, so it's okay.
Yeah, I always say it. Sorry.
my son is a fan of different things, and obviously we'll get to the Star Wars thing, obviously, but he is also a huge fan of, and it kills me, Suicide Squad. This is like his thing. I mean, he makes me watch it, he makes me look at it, and even worse is he has this obsession with the new Joker. I don't know if you've seen the movie, the Jared Leto plays the new Joker, and he's not very pretty. Anyways, he loves this character more than life itself. I don't know why, because he's bad. It's just that simple. He's a bad guy, and it's like his screensaver. He's like hooked on it. So he's like, Mom, if it's not too expensive, maybe we could get her to make me some Joker Converse shoes. And I'm like, I have to find out if she knows who he is. Second of all, if she has time, which I highly doubt. But I promised that I would ask you if you could do a Suicide Squad Joker shoe for my little tiny boy.
Oh,
Please.
yeah, no problem. We can talk more on price, because it all depends on size. And you just send me, just have him pick out his favorite photos. I can put anything on the Converse, anything.
Really? Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah,
because he's he's a character. I mean, he's all over the place right now, but I just don't know how difficult it is, because he's got like a grill on his keys, and he's all like tattooed up and all this. And I'm like, I guess I said I would ask, but the mom in me is kind of like, I so don't want you idolizing Joker. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like at a catch-22 here. Because here's the other problem. Because, if you said no to that one, his other second favorite is just as bad, which is Kylo Ren. So I'm like,
I don't know who
you
that
just want to be a bad guy. Well, the Star Wars, the new trilogy, The Force Awakens, the last movie that they did, he's like the new bad guy. So like they're training him to be like the new Darth Vader. And so I'm like, this kid's on this dark thing, and I'm like, okay. But if you don't know who Kylo Ren is, that might be a little challenging.
He'll outgrow them just like his shoes, right?
Right. Well, and the other thing is I was hoping that he would, except as they get older, it's a new generation, let me just tell you. Let me just tell you. And of course, they think that I have the ability to just call Kylo Ren, the real guy, and just say, come on the show. Mommy has a radio show, so just come on. If you're on Star Wars, if you're Iron Man, just come on Mommy's show. Yeah, it's not that simple, kid. Okay? Love you, Tristan. Okay, so good. So we got that out of the way. I asked you about Suicide Squad, so now my kid won't get all pissed baby, because I definitely don't want him unhappy. I want to talk a bit about the last... I know for a fact that, let's switch gears. This is a question that I came up with when I was researching you, because I'm like, you know what, she doesn't talk about this, so I wonder if she'd do it, because I know you work back to the painting thing a bit. Have you done, or would you ever consider doing body painting? Because I could see you doing that big time.
I was almost on Skin Wars, the
really?
fresh paint. Yeah, it was really close. It was down to the end, and I don't remember something. I think I still was in contract with Food Network. And when they were going to film, I couldn't jump because, like, a lot of times, like you said, you sign your life away. I still had, like, a couple months left before I could go to another production company. And I couldn't do it, but I was almost on. But I would do body paint. To me, everything is a canvas. Everything. If it's there, I would do it. Actually, what I love to do is, like, you know, like The Walking Dead. I would love to do the faces with that stuff. That I would have so much fun with that kind of stuff. All I need to do is go and see what they're using, and then, bam, I can do it.
That is awesome. I absolutely love that. Yeah, and the reason I brought it up is because I keep toying with the idea. I've done modeling before, and I've toyed with the idea of body painting because I haven't done it yet. You know, but every time I get a significant other, it's like a turnoff, and they're like, well, why do you want to get naked? I'm like, are you missing the point? This isn't about being naked. This is about being an easel for someone like you. You know, so I just had to ask the question. I'm like, she had to have thought of that before, but she beat me to the punch. It wouldn't it, though? It's interesting. You know, I think it's one of those things that everybody should do, but, you know, forgive me, sort of. Okay, so now, I know in the past that you've attended the NYT Travel Show in addition to countless numbers of shows. As I understand it, you're doing SoFlo 2017, which is coming up in April, right? End of April, April 28th, I believe. 20th to the 30th?
Yep.
Okay, I got that. So I did get that right. So my question to you is this. Do you enjoy doing the cake shows, let's say, for instance, or a formalized food show where you're accenting and showing off some of your things? Is that a little less nerve-wracking for you than being on television? Because some people, like you were talking about how much you loved it, et cetera. But I'm just trying to get a preference here. Would you rather be on TV all day long, or would you rather do this show circuit, let's say, how many times a year? Which do you find more fulfilling?
I'd rather do the TV. I mean, the cake shows are it's fun, and they're just easy. And at some point, it ends up getting boring when you walk around if your friends are working, you know. But the cake show is like it's constantly like just it's kind of like hammering at you. Like you always have to be at the top of your game. You always got to come up with something cool or new, and you got to be able to speak quick, try to be witty. You know, it's just so much activity, and that's kind of me. Like I said, I can't sit still. I'm usually doing 3 or 4 things at one time. Normally, it's very hard for me to sit still.
Oh, my God. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Good Lord, that means you actually have to sit in one place. Or you might be walking around talking to me for all I know, but I know what you're talking about.
I'm kind of rocking, yeah.
Is she done yet? Is she done yet? Oh, God, I'm working on it, okay?
No, I'm good. No, if I'm talking, I can do it. I grew up being, it was really funny, I was very shy. Really, really shy growing up.
You?
And now I'm like a chatterbox. Oh, yeah, I was really shy. I wouldn't even raise my hand in school. And when I went to college, I didn't even last very long. I went to college, I think I was there for a year, and when they told me how to do public speaking, I quit. That's how shy I was. Oh, yeah.
Seriously?
So shy. Yeah, and then I just got out of it. Well, actually, the cake world pulled me out of it. Even because I used to teach, but I was like a quiet teacher, like teaching art at like you know Catholic school type things. And as soon as the cake world, I got more confidence in myself and just busted out. Now you can't shut me up.
Hey, and that's not a bad thing necessarily, too. You know what I mean? I think expanding your horizons, going off in different directions, that's absolutely cool. And that led right to actually what I was going to ask you, because obviously, as you mentioned, the teaching component, I know that you do demonstrations and you teach classes. So talk to the folks a little bit about in terms of how often you do that, and is that limited to just the New York area so we understand? Because I don't know if you teach elsewhere, because I do, et cetera. So talk a little bit about that, where people can find you and what you have to offer from a teaching perspective.
Oh, okay. Well, I teach at all the cake shows that I'm actually going to. I'll be teaching painting on fondant and SoFlo. I do demos, so I'll be doing a demo in the New York show this year. And then I work in booths, and I'm kind of like showing people how to use things, demoing and teaching in the booths of 2 of the products that I love. One is the fondant, the Dream fondant that I use from Choco Pan, and the sugar art colors. See, the difference with me when I do artwork too, most people use colored fondant. I do everything in white and black, and then I hand paint everything back later. So the colors are like really important. So I like to teach about color. And then I also teach the sip and paint classes. I sub at Bow Season Art. I teach cookie decorating classes, whatever. If there's something that can be taught in the artistic field, I'll teach. You just give me a call. I go to houses. I do private classes at people's homes. I go to restaurants, wherever, anywhere. I'm so busy. The hardest part is scheduling. I need like the PR person to, set me up, because that's the hardest part is scheduling. Just hand me whatever it is. It's like call me up, tell me what you want and where you want me to be and how much it's going to be, and I'll be there. That's how I work.
That's absolutely awesome. And that brings me to this excellent question, which is, are you capable, you, meaning you, or, you probably could teach people how to do this too, or have you even done it? Because we live in a generation nowadays where we're all very much, I'd like to think in some way, manner, shape, or form, more health conscious, meaning that obviously the product that you're making, as we all know, might be a little bit fattening, might have a lot of sugar in it, etc. So have you ever had to dull down some of your projects? You know what I'm talking about? Because we all expect there's going to be a lot of sugar, there's going to be a lot of this, that, and the other thing, but can you do gluten? Can you do, less calorie? Do you do those things?
If somebody needs them, yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm totally gluten free. I'm pretty much organic, and I don't really eat meat, so I'm very health conscious. But I look at it this way: is that when you have a cake, it's like that one time, like you could break into it and have the cake. But if it's gluten or no peanuts or whatever, I can do that too. And I haven't done any sugar-free ones, but I feel bad because usually anything that you're using that's sugar-free usually ends up getting you later. So
I gotcha. Well, and plus, too, I have a friend who's actually quite a, including my mom, is a longtime diabetic, and oftentimes they're looking for stuff to kind of fill that, craving and stuff. So I thought, wouldn't it be neat if you had like a cake product or something like that where it's sugar-free? And I'm sure they make them all the time, but, in terms of a cake like yours, meaning that's designed and specialty and stuff, would be really super neat. Do you also teach, or is that just the designer furniture? Is that something you do as well? That was my understanding. And if so, do you teach that, or is that just, okay. Now, do you teach that too?
I would if someone asked me. I haven't had the opportunity yet, but the furniture is, I find old chairs, tables, whatever, and I look at them for a while, and then all of a sudden it just hits me. I'm serious. I'll be sitting there 9 o'clock at night, and I'm finally go, oh, well, I know what I'm going to do with that, and I work till 3, 4 in the morning because I can't stop and do it. I just get bammed like that. It's weird because I dream what I'm going to do. I have such weird hours sometimes because my mind just never stops. I probably have 6, 7 cakes in my head right now and about 10 other different projects floating around in my head right now. And I don't design on paper unless a customer wants me to. Everything's in my head. I don't need to put it down. I just do that because some people need to see. They can't understand when you explain to them. They just need to see what I'm going to do.
I gotcha. Well, and what I find so impressive is that, because I know what you're talking about, sometimes all the ideas float around in my head, and I'm like, oh, I know what I need to do, etc. Now, do you remember the very first cake you ever did and what it was? I'm just curious. The very first one.
I was a kid. I made cakes for my dad, and I did this one. I'm going to think of the funny one. It was like the best one was like a golf course. They wanted a 9-hole golf course, and I just played around, and it was fun because I used like cookies to make the sand area, and it was all buttercream. And I built this, I think out of like pretzels or something for the clubhouse. But it was fun. That was the first. But I used to just do stupid stuff. Anybody would ask me like, hey, can you do this with the cake? And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. And I just play around with it.
That's neat. I like that. And I like the versatility involved with that. Now, folks, let me just say a few things that she's done before and listen to this. Remember when I told you how nervous I was? This is exactly why. She's been featured in the following. All these magazines, by the way: Cake Masters, Green Door, Today's Woman, Cake Design France, American Cake Decorating. She, in 2013, was named one of the top 10 cake artists by Dessert Professional magazine. She was also featured in Edible Artists Network. She was a nominee for the EAG Awards for Most Inspiring Sugar Modeling Artist. And and we got to talk about this cake, actually. She actually made it to the late night show with Jim Corden. There was a King Kong and a Lady Liberty cake that you did that made it onto the show. So talk about that. That's exciting. How did your work end up on the program?
Well, it was during the New York Cake Show, and they actually called a bunch of other cake artists first just because they live in the city. And everyone was going to the New York Cake Show. And I said yes. And Carmelo, he's from the Next Great Baker. Him and I kind of worked together, and we put our pieces together and brought it over to Jim. We didn't get to see him, though. We met the young Elijah Jones. We got to meet the young boy on the show.
But you didn't get to meet Anne Hathaway either? knowing
No,
him
I
the way
was
you
so
did? Darn
I
it.
was so sad because they said, I guess the show, I don't know if it made it. I'm hoping it came back. I liked it, but they said if they had one next year that they would call us, but it kind of looking like maybe it's not coming back. Yeah.
Don't put that out there. Don't say it, because if you throw it out there, it's not going to happen. Don't put it
No,
out
I
in the
want
universe.
it
We're
to come
just
back.
gonna...
I actually liked the show.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, it
And
was
that's an honor
a
to-
good
I mean,
show.
It's an
But
honor.
the best part
Anytime
was
says
it
that.
was on when it made the late night, the photo, he was pointing out the mini hymn that I made. I made like that little mini hymn because we both did things, but I was so nervous about that, but he was so happy to point it out, and I'm like, he liked it.
That's cool. That is. And that's one of those feel-good moments where you're like, oh, my God, that is so awesome. Look at what happened, blah, blah, blah. That's amazing, because oftentimes we all work on projects and we never know where they're going to end up. But once you start getting them on television, when you're getting these types of recognition, that clearly says to you, or I guess really that's a better question for you really is, you get these awards, you get written up, or you get on television, or you get all these accolades that we in society give to people when we like their work. So my question to you is, at what point, what is your big payoff? Meaning when has that point become where you say to yourself, you know what, I've really made something of myself, I'm really impressed, etc. Meaning, does it come in an award form? Does it come in, or has it come already from a particular client or person or someone? What is the benchmark for you?
I'm not even sure because I never really think about stopping. I just always kind of think about if there's always something new that I can try and somebody else that I can maybe make happy. You know, I mean, if I was like, if something was to happen today, I could say I'm very happy at the moment. But I think that I don't ever want to stop being better or stop doing what I'm doing. And I love how happy I make people, especially the little kids. They just love how happy. I had one little girl, I made her Little Mermaid. She wouldn't let her mother cut that thing for a whole year. They had to keep it in the fridge for a whole year. Every time the mother said, we're going to cut part of that, she would cry because she just loved it. So it's little things like that that make me really happy.
Oh, speaking of children, here's my second request. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Cake Wars, or the Food Network, I should say. First of all, maybe I'm an idiot, but I did not see, because you've done at least one Star Wars cake, yes?
Yeah, I did the Star Wars, Cake Wars Star Wars. I was with Gonzuela, and she was the lead, and I was her second. And I sculpted most of the characters, on that one. And we did win,
yes, and I was going to mention that you won, and I said to myself, you know what, maybe I'm just missing it, and I need to go on the network thing itself, because I don't think I saw it on your website, the actual cake itself, you know, the Star Wars one that you did, or did I just miss it?
No, I have it on my website. It's on.
Okay.
If you look it up, you'll find it. I didn't put it on my website because it was actually more of because Gonzuela was the lead, so it was more of like her design.
Okay. Got it.
I kind of have this thing where I sculpted the figures, but when we're there, we can't take pictures of anything. I mean, you're there, you make this, and it's gone, and you don't get anything. The only thing you get is what you can find off a TV or online or photos that they leave. You don't get to sit there and take your photos of your work later. So I don't really have any good pictures.
I see what you're talking about. Okay, because my son was like, oh, so let's see the cake. And I'm like, it's somewhere. I'm like, I'm sure it's somewhere, so I'll have to ask her. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have Yoda.
They think that's
my favorite part.
Oh, Yoda is my favorite too. Oh my God, maybe we're related and we just don't know. We like all these same things and we work the same way. How creepy! Yoda is like the coolest thing in the world. He's little and he's so wise and he's green and he's like furry and you just want to hug him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my kids laugh at me every time I say that, but it's true.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
And as you mentioned, of course, you were on for 3 different times. Of course, Star Wars and Christmas and Dusk Till Dawn. So, because you've been on 3 different times. Talk to me a little bit about the experience.
4, 5.
Did I miss? Oh, way to go, Cindy. Okay, apparently guest corrected me. You've been on more times than that. So most people that are listening in have not been on television before, and I know I had asked you the inevitable question, which is, of course, being on TV and being nervous, et cetera, and the experience itself. But you're in a competition, obviously, and so what do you find was the easiest part for you in that regard? Meaning, is it just your drive and your dedication and you're like, let's go, 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 and that part of it was neat? Was there any downside to the competition? Because sometimes people can get mean, and I don't know if that translated on television. I've only seen your program a few different times. So give us a little insider view of what it's like. Like, you come in, you stand around for 12 hours a day. Talk to people about set life, especially when it comes to being on a competitive type show versus the reality TV or something else they might watch.
Oh, well, part of it is you have like a babysitter at all times. You're walked everywhere you go when you're on set.
Okay.
You can't do anything on your own, so you need to like raise your hand to use the restroom pretty much too. The hard side is sometimes being put with people you don't know that well to work with. You haven't really worked with them ever. So my very first time, I didn't know either of the people at all, and our skill sets were different. So it's really hard to be thrown in a competition situation, and trying to match your styles together to make it look seamless was really difficult. Mm-hmm. And you stand around a lot, yeah. If you watch the show carefully, Cake Wars Christmas, you can watch that I'm rocking a lot because you're standing, and my feet hurt so bad because they kind of like every time someone's talking about their cake, you're there, and they say a lot more than you see when the actual show airs, because we film like 12 to 20 hours, and they knock it down to like a little over 45 minutes for a show for each one. So you got the camera there at all times, and you have to chat. That's the hard part too, is that you know that you only have a few minutes left or an hour left, and you actually have to figure out how to talk because they want to talk to you, and you're almost like, I just want to concentrate, but you can't really say that. You have to kind of chat with them too, and it just throws you off a little bit. And then you're dodging cameras, you're dodging wires, you have a small space to work in. But that's the kind of stuff that kind of makes it fun for me, is because now you're challenging me and trying to figure out how to like MacGyver my way around. It's like, I can't find this, so what can I use instead, So it challenges my brain. It makes me think on the fly.
Well, and it's interesting, too, and listening to you talking about this, and I'm thinking to myself, you probably get bored very easily if you're not doing or working on something that is always pushing your boundary. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I do. I can't paint a flat wall. It's like a joke. It's in the house here, my mom and everyone. It's just like, do not hand her a paintbrush to paint a flat wall. It is bad. Because I get so bored that I just start slopping it on. I just want to be done with it. Let me out of here. I can't do this. You give me a mural on 3 times the size of the wall, stay there all day for 5 days and won't even eat or breathe half the time. I'll just be painting. But a flat wall, can't do it. Just can't do it. So bored. I walk around like, bored now. Can't do it.
Oh, my gosh. But you know what? I'm sure that there's always new and interesting things that are coming up every time you get a new client, or you go to a new place, or like you're saying, you have a million different ideas that come into your head in the course of an hour or two or whatever. So I know what you're talking about there. One of the things that I don't want to forget to mention to people is this. One thing that you have said about yourself before, she is a master of all sorts of different things, but most importantly, her strengths, according to you, comes in your design technique and the uniqueness by which you create different things. So on the flip side of the fence, let's say that someone were going to do a cake that was most resembling you as a person and as a professional. You had to take one side and the other side. What would that look like? Because I know you kind of touched on that before.
Yeah, it would be standing on top of a box right outside. It would be very earthy, down to earth, like nature-y, and color, like down to earth type colors. Free, like have to have feathers. I love my feathers. They kind of like, I use feathers as, I call it path of the feather, and feathers always tell me that I'm on the right path in life. I would have to have feathers.
Nice. Very nice. I would have suspected, well, I also would have suspected a little, I don't know why I keep thinking heart, like a heart or a, something that just looks very, what's the word? Not a peacock, but it's a bird. One of the, like a dove, almost like a dove. A dove and a heart come to mind. Really? Maybe I'm completely off.
Yeah.
Just by looking at you.
Maybe.
But again, like I said.
I never. Well, people say I'm
almost
kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of like, I had one student tell me who I was in the BOCES school, and he wouldn't talk or work for anyone, and he was just like, really didn't like people. But he would come in the art room, and he would work for me. And I asked him, I said, why do you work for me? I know you don't work in any of the other classrooms. He goes, because when I walk
Right.
into the room, he goes, I feel this calmness, that you have this calm aura, I guess. It wasn't his word, but it was like my aura is calm and just easygoing, and I really don't get angry that easy. And it just made him feel comfortable that he could work, and he knew that I would never put him down, that I have this way of, if you're not doing it right, I show you how to do it right without making you feel like you're doing it wrong. I always have a way to fix it. Anytime anybody does anything in art, you really can't mess it up because there's always a way to fix it, always somehow that I can come up with on the fly, like, well, let's do it this way instead. Actually, it looks better now. Your mistake made it even better.
Wow. You're amazing. I don't even know what to say. I mean, I'm so in awe of your talent and your genuineness and your humility and your passion. I mean, just radiates out of you. I don't know if you know this or not, but just listening to you, everything and the way that you look at everything in life is just so, it's just a work of, well, like you said, it's a work of art. I mean, just listening, folks, to her attitude is just so refreshing. It makes you want to be an artist, period. And I am already. I mean, I'm very fortunate for that. But the fact that you get to do what you love and you do it in such a way where it affects other people, whether it's children or adults, is amazing. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. You should be thanked for that. You actually probably inspire probably more people than you think you do, honestly. Now, the last question that I have for you, this is the most important question. Over the last year, I've integrated this question into my show. Everyone gets asked this, everyone. And I get my hopes up, and it's the most important one I'm going to ask you. I get my hopes up every time.
Is it knowing that guy?
You're the first guest who caught me on that. How did you know I was going to ask you that question?
I just had a feeling. I do that to a lot of people. Yeah, I don't know him, but if I do,
oh my gosh,
call you.
That is like so funny because normally 90% of the time people are like, "What? What is she talking about?" Obviously, it's outlandish to ask any ordinary person because we already know the answer to the question is going to be no. It's just that I've been doing it for a long time. I've been trying for a long time, and I'm frustrated. I'm kind of like, I'm going to get somebody who knows this guy. I'm telling you, in one way or the other, it's just one of those things. But you beat me to the punch. Wow.
Sorry,
I've been one up today, folks. She one-upped me. I can't believe her. Darn it all.
I'm sorry.
Well, on that note.
To do it again.
Oh, are you kidding me? It's like the running joke. And I've said it before on my show, too. I'm like, literally, it's the running joke. Not because I think someone will say yes. And actually, if you have, I'm closer to getting them than I think I am. I'm kind of like you. I have no patience. When I want to work on something, I want to work on it. I want to do it now, and I want to have it happen now. I don't want it to be under someone else's control. You know what I mean? And I'm always thinking about new ways. And see, now you got me started. Okay, we have 3 quick things that we want to do here. First of all, I'm going to read off the different ways where people can find you. If I forget anything when I'm done, you can let me know. Just so you folks know, she can be found in the following different places. The primary website being cakesbykimsimmons.com, and that's S-I-M-O.
That's the main one. Okay, this is the one you can help me out the most. It's Simon.
Oh,
Kim
I am
Simon.
so sorry. That's the second time that happened. I'm so sorry.
Everybody does that one to me. No, it's almost to the point where I'm almost going to break it up. It's like even on the TV show, my teammate called me Simmons. I'm like, I just told you it was Simon. It's like Simon says, yeah, Cakes by Kim Simon, only one M. Yeah.
I am so sorry.
That's okay, because I'm kind of glad you made the mistake because now everyone will kind of know how to say it.
Well, and that's just because of the fact that oftentimes when you're looking at someone's name and you never talked to them before, you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, we can assume by the look of it. Who wouldn't say that? You know what I'm talking about? Like if you didn't know, you might make that mistake. Ouch. Well, okay, let's try that again. Her main website is Cakes by Kim. Say it with me.
Simmons, like Simon said.
Simon. Like the game.
Yeah.
And it's SIMONS.com, so you folks know.
Yep.
She also has an IMDb profile. She's on Pinterest. She's on YouTube. As far as Facebook, she can be found 2 different places. She has a personal page, but that's listed as Kim M. And then again, spelled Simon, S-I-M-O-N-S. And then, of course, she also has her cakesbykimsimons.com, or Kim Simons on Facebook. I can't talk today.
Yes.
Did I miss any places or anywhere else outside of the obvious? And the Food
Instagram
Network.
Too. Yep.
And am I to assume that your back episodes are on the Food Network? You can be accessed anytime right off their website. Is that correct? I didn't know for sure how that worked. That's why I thought I'd ask you.
I think you can. I mean, I know Netflix had the Dusk Till Dawn one with Duff Goldman, the Ace of Capes.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not quite sure on the rest of them right now because I kind of had somebody who got them for me, so I have them all on tape. I know some of them are still on demand because it's so recent. If you are on like Time Warner, that kind of TV station, you could still find them. But I think they end up in Netflix, and you might be able to find them on Food Network too.
I gotcha, I understand. And then, folks, just in case you don't know, foodnetwork.com is actually the place where you would find it if it happens to be there. If not, obviously you can check. They've got the Hulu, they've got the networks, Amazon's out there, the whole 9 yards. So go ahead and try to check that out.
Cake Wars Star Wars and then Cake Wars Christmas. I'm just so happy we made it 5 episodes. That was the coolest thing ever.
I'm just so happy that you're on it, period. I mean, I don't know about you folks, but I'm telling you, I mean, I don't do well with competition. Like, I'm a promoter of everybody. So if I had to compete against another author, I'd probably end up feeling bad and I'd just duck out. I'd be like, I can't do this. You know, I'm more of a pro everybody. You know what I mean? Like, let's support everybody. So I think I'd probably crack under pressure. So thank God you're on TV and I'm not, because I don't think I could handle all that business. I just don't. Now, I don't want to forget to mention this. When we get off the show here in about 2 hours, the show will be archived, and I'll send you a link if you want to post that. People can go back and listen anytime if they want to the show as far as that goes. I don't want to forget Felicia Ramos. Without you, this lovely lady wouldn't be on the other end of my phone. So I feel incredibly impressed and incredibly amazed that you brought me this wonderful person. So without her, we wouldn't be together. So Felicia, don't want to forget, anybody want to get a hold of her, it's FeliciaRPeters.com is her website. If you want to go ahead and check her out for any of your PR needs, please feel free to reach out to her. The last thing I want to say to you, young lady, is she's so sweet. I mean, she was so nice in the first point of contact. We met on a page, and she was like, I've got this client, and I'm like, I'm all in. I mean, she didn't have to ask me twice. I'm like, this is awesome. I think it's great. The New York thing didn't hurt because I'm going to be living there soon. Well, 7 years in my head is what we call soon. But, she was very sweet. She was very persuasive. She was very informative. Felicia did a terrific job, by the way. So hopefully her and I will be working together more. So the last 2 things I want to say to you, I kind of started by saying, which is thank you so very much for the gift of what you've done. And when I say that, I mean you inspire and you motivate. You put a twinkle in a child's eye. You put a twinkle in a grown person's eye. One of the reasons I was so nervous about wanting to interview you is because you're so esteemed and accomplished. And as a writer and as an artist myself, I'm still struggling to get to the point where people are wanting me on television or people are wanting, it gets closer and closer, but to see someone, a strong female, who's very well aware of herself and very well of her talents, use it for the good, I think that's tremendously incredible. And so this is exactly why you make me nervous, because you're that incredible and that talented. Thank you for sharing your talents with me. And the last thing is, I have a little request. You can toss it around in your head and think it over before you answer me, so you don't have to answer on air. But we always like to have a little surprise at the end of the show. So this is my little surprise. You can turn me down if you want to. You can think about it if you like. I have my film festival coming to New York City in June, actually end of June. And I was sitting there and I was looking at you last night and I was thinking to myself, there should be a product there that she could do or that I could showcase so that we could have or whatever. So consider the idea of, the name of it's called Art is Alive Film Festival, and I'll send you the link over there. I'm pretty sure I'm picking that logo that's on it. And maybe we could come up with something very cool, very big, very film-like looking, meaning like something that would combine like Chaplin and Marilyn Monroe, et cetera. Because we're going to have a nice turnout. For, what's nice about the festival is it combines musicians and all sorts of artists. It's not just about film. It's about art in general. And we're going to have celebrities, non-celebrities, the whole 9 yards. So the hope is that not only do we get your name out there even more so, but you can have people knocking and pounding on your door. And hopefully if it goes well, then every year I can beg you and say, hey, let's do another one. Assuming that the festival lasts more than a year. But that depends on me, of course. I guess I have a lot of work to do. But yes, please consider that, because I would consider it an honor to have something like that at my festival. It would be kind of a signature sort of, like you, I'm very out of the box, so I want to have something that people will remember. And your cakes are, I'm telling you folks, you need to go to that website. They're amazingly incredible. That's all I can say. So thank you, my dear. Thanks for coming on the show. Please stay in touch. Don't be a stranger. I'll send you the information over, and we'll chat, and we can kind of go from there.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, my dear. And, anytime. Sure. Have a great afternoon. And good luck with your cake making today. I hope I've jarred something loose there. We'll see.
Oh, everybody does. Thank you.
Well, thank you. All right, dear. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, bye.
Isn't she lovely? Kim Simons. Just so I got that right, hopefully. One more time, she has an IMDb profile. She's on Pinterest, YouTube. Her episodes hopefully can be found on foodnetwork.com. Otherwise, like I said, go ahead and check out Hulu or Netflix or Amazon. I'm sure one of them will have some of the prior episodes. We want to remind the three that I documented, which are the Star Wars episode, the Christmas, and Dusk Till Dawn. And, of course, keep in mind Star Wars is the one that she won. So we want to take a look at that. Facebook personal page, which is Kim M. Simons, and also the Cakes by Kim Simons. And the website is cakesbykimsimons.com. Again, huge thanks to Kim for taking an hour out of her day to speak to me. Felicia, like I said, I meant what I said. Absolutely wonderful guest. So honored to have hosted her. Keep in mind tomorrow, everybody, we are going to be on at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time in the morning. That's right. And why? Because I don't know why, because we all know I don't do morning shows, but Sarah Gunn is a talent. And I want people to know her talent, and I want to help others to find out who she is. And we want to talk about her sci-fi campaign. So excited. 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. Look for my write-up on her later today. Thanks to the listening audience, everybody listening in. I need to dash off and spend my afternoon and evening looking for a new vehicle. Yes, that's right. I still haven't found one. So, well, then you look at all, we'll find something and keep the ball rolling here. You guys have yourselves a great afternoon, and we'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Take care.
What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. By singing dog. By goal.
I pronounce you.
By wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. By singing dog. By goal.
I pronounce you.
By wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.